Alright, Shalom, this is Brother Yawan. First and foremost, I want to give all praises to the Most High, Yahweh, Bahashim, Yahushai, Bahashim, Rakakadash. I want to give double honors to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone. And I want to say Shalom to all the brothers and, of course, the few sisters who are pursuing this truth in sincerity. Alright, may the blessing of election be upon your house. Today, man, is going to be a condensed version of what we spoke about in class yesterday. We talked about how success and sacrifice go hand in hand. We also talked about usefulness within the body. Okay, so the first precept I want to go to is 2 Corinthians 13 and 5, because when you come into this walk, everybody has a particular set of skills. Okay, some brothers might be, this is an analogy, some brothers might be a hand, another brother may be a foot. If you're a hand, grab. If you're a foot, kick, dance. You know, you've been given particular attributes. Myself, I have a talent to where I could, condense information. I like to write things down. And I brothers that are coming in, I can give them, the notes I have, and they're easy to comprehend to where they could go through them. You know what I mean? I like to put, decent production together. I take videos of other brothers when they're making lessons, and it's more intimate. So there's a particular, demographic of people that are coming in. They may be drawn to that, and it may help them get on a level. And then they can comprehend these concepts, the way they need to. Another brother has his own demographic of people that are drawn to his spirit to where they could comprehend particular things in the way that they need to, which is why I like putting different brothers on my page. You understand? So, because there's going to be some people, they can say the same thing I said, but it resonates with the spirit, a little different. That's why it's all different flavors within our body. But nonetheless, we all speaking the same thing. We're all speaking the truth. Okay? Let's go to 2 Corinthians 13 and 5, because to understand that when you're coming in, especially if you're being a vessel that the Lord is using to deliver the information, to deliver the truth, right? You have to have some self-awareness, and that comes with examining yourself, all right? So this is 2 Corinthians 13 and 5. Examine yourselves, whether ye be in the faith. Prove your own selves. Know ye not your own selves. And a lot of people, they don't have that self-awareness. They never sat down and said, okay, what are my strengths and what are my weaknesses? And we're completely honest with themselves. You got to be honest with yourself, okay? How that Yahushua Mashiach is in you, except ye be reprobates. So we all have little pieces of Yahushua, and we're refining those pieces, we're finding our weaknesses and capitalizing on our strengths so that we become a reflection of our big brother. All right? That's why the gold, let's go get that really quick. That's why the acceptable men are tried in the furnace of adversity. That gold, which ye are, you're being burned of your impurities. You're being purged of your weaknesses. Okay? And your strengths are being purified. All right? This is Sirach 2 and 1. Then I'll jump down to verse 5. It says, my son, if thou come to serve the Lord, prepare thy soul for temptation. You're gonna go through different affliction. You're gonna catch different adversity, and that's needed, all right, for your growth. Adversity, hard times are needed for you to grow, and that's with any walk of life and anything. So how much more so the walk with Yahweh Shemi Yahushai? You need to catch hell. You need to go through different afflictions, because the test is going to be the ultimate affliction. And what happens is, as you reach new levels of understanding and wherewithal, those little adversities you catch build you up to go through the next level of adversities, dealing with the next level of demons that you're going to have to deal with here in Babylon, here in this society. All right? So you build up a callousness to certain things. So you build up mental endurance, emotional endurance, physical endurance. You know what I'm saying? You get used to, operating at a high level on a more consistent basis. You understand? We have men that are far up in age in this thing, but they've conditioned their mind, their spirit, to where they're still on fire. It's clockwork to them. It's natural. You see? So you need the different afflictions. You need to figure out how to I still got to be the vessel that the Lord needs me to be within the affliction, within the adversity. Have the emotional control, the emotional endurance, the mental endurance, the physical, all right, endurance, to still do my job even when things aren't going my way, even when things don't feel good per se. You get past that level, then reach another plateau. You catch a different kind of hell. figure out how to deal with that in spirit, and you reach another level. And as that happens, also, the Lord will have you go through particular things so that a younger brother that comes in, you've been through it already. You know exactly how to deal with it. You know exactly how to navigate those waters that another brother may be going through. So the Lord may have you sometimes go through something to help another brother. Because what you got through, basically with maybe flying colors, that may be something that could destroy another brother. But the Lord is now giving you the information and the wherewithal how to navigate it, and you can relay that information to him, and now he's able to weather that storm. He's being equipped. So within the body, we have everything that we need. There's nothing that you're going to go through that another brother hasn't went through. There's nothing that you're going to go through that another brother doesn't have insight on how to navigate it. You see? All right. It's Sirach 2:1. My son, if thou come to serve the Lord, prepare thy soul for temptation. Set thy heart aright and constantly endure. So you're going to be constantly dealing with particular things, especially in this kingdom, because everything here is perverse or contrary to the things of Yahweh B'Shem Yahushua. Of course, right? Cleave unto him and depart not away, that thou mayest be increased at the last end. So we got to endure to the end that we may be saved. So this is a constant fight, a constant battle with the world and with your own self, man, with your flesh. All right, verse 4. Whatsoever is brought upon thee, take cheerfully, because we know what the affliction is for. We're getting built up for something. Okay, and the Lord's not going to put something on you that you can't bear anyway. So if it came to you, you must be equipped to get through it. You just got to figure out how. Okay. Whatsoever is brought upon thee, take cheerfully, and be patient when thou art changed to a lower state. And we have to be content with being abased and abased. In the world, they always bring out Philippians 4:13, but they never go into the fullness of what was actually being said. When you read up a little bit, when you start at verse 10, let's actually go there. All right, Philippians 4th chapter, and we'll start at verse 10. It says, verse 10. But I rejoice greatly that now at the last your care of me hath flourished again, wherein you were also careful, but you lacked opportunity. Not that I speak in respect of want, for I have learned in whatsoever state I am, therewith to be content. So you're going to have low seasons, you're going to have high seasons. But within all of it, you have to have composure, and you have to be content. In the world, they have a term called happy medium. So regardless if things are going good or bad, you're level-headed. That's how you have to be in this walk, man. You have to find the composure that you need. And the brothers with the most composure, you obviously are going to be the brothers that have been in this thing a long time. They're going to be more level-headed, just like a veteran quarterback. When he's in tight situations, there's not a scenario that he hasn't seen before. So even when things are tight, he could be calm. Okay, we're good. This is what we do. I need you over here. He can call the audible. He can maneuver in those rough waters because that experience, that old age. So you going through these different adversities, take it on cheerfully, man, because it's giving you the experience that you need to be that, that stone cold killer at the end of the game. And we all gonna have to be stone cold killers at the end of the game, man. We all gonna have to be equipped mentally, physically, and emotionally to deal with the test. We all have to be examples one to another and to the flock on how to move as things get ramped up. So that we want to be vessels that operate at our highest function, so that the body as a whole can operate at its highest function. And that takes each brother doing their part. And your part may not be the same as another brother's part. Example I used in class yesterday is if any of you familiar with football, you have the kicker. His job is to kick the ball through the post. But if he's at practice working on his passes, is he going to be operating at his highest frequency in the game time to hit the game-winning kick? If he hasn't been working on what his strength is, what his position is, which is the kicker. If he's been working on his passes in practice, he's not going to be operating at his highest function when it comes time to hit the winning field goal. Growing up, in Florida, I was a Florida State fan, and the kicker was either wide right or wide left whenever they played Miami. Play your position. Okay. Verse 11 again from the top, Philippians 4:11. Not that I speak in respect of want, for I have learned in whatsoever state I am, therewith to be content. I know both how to be abased, and I know how to be abound. I know how to conduct myself when I'm low, and I know how to conduct myself when I'm in a blessed state, when I'm doing good, when things are going my way, so to speak. Everywhere and in all things I am instructed both to be full and to be hungry, both to abound and to suffer need. So these are all scenarios that you're going to go through in our walk. How are you going to deal with them? How are you going to move? You have to have that happy medium. You have to be level-headed. And a lot of things go into that, man. Faith is the main component. You got to have faith that the Lord is going to see you through. You got to be equipped with the name. Right? The name of the Lord is a strong tower. The righteous runneth into it and is safe. So there's many components that go into that. All right. So again, from the top, verse 12 from the top, it says, Philippians 4:12, I know both how to be abased and I know how to be abound. Everywhere and in all things I am instructed both to be full and to be hungry, both to be abound and to suffer need. I can do all things through the Mashiach who strengtheneth me. Okay. Now let's go to back to Sirach 2, and we'll finish out 4 and 5, okay? And then we're going to go to the parable in Luke about the man that was building the house. And from there, we'll pretty much wrap up. Like I said, this is a condensed version of the full class, which is a beautiful class. If you have the opportunity, go listen to it, the fullness of it. It expounds on this topic we're going into right now. So it's Sirach 2 and 4. It says, whatsoever is brought upon me, upon thee take cheerfully. It says, whatsoever is brought upon thee, take cheerfully, and be patient when thou art changed to a low estate. Verse 5. For gold, which we're the gold, right, is tried in the fire, and acceptable men in the furnace of adversity. So we're being burned, we're being purged of our impurities, of our weaknesses, of the things that we need to get together. All right? So that takes, again, self-awareness. You got to sit down and be honest with yourself. What are my strengths? What are the things that I thrive at, and how can I maximize on those things for the body? 2, what are my weaknesses? How do I patch those up and groove those to where they're not so much of a weakness anymore? Okay, but you have to capitalize on your strengths, and you have to be honest and have that honest conversation with yourself, and sit down and figure it out. And it may not happen today. It may take time. But that's something that you that's a part of examining yourself, and that's something that you need to do in order to grow. You need to do it. Okay? So now let's go to Luke the 14th chapter. Okay? Luke 14 and verse 28, I believe. Actually, I'll start at 27. It says, and whosoever doth not bear his cross, you're going to have, particular burdens. You're going to catch, hell. We've been going through this. So this is reiterated to you time and time again. It's for a reason. All right. And again, this is written in red. And whosoever doth not bear his cross and come after me cannot be my disciple. For which of you intending to build a tower sitteth not down first and counteth the cost, whether he have sufficient to finish it? You start a project. You map out before you even do anything. Okay, you map out the fullness of how you get to the final product. You don't just do it on the fly. Because more than likely, you're not going to be able to finish it if you just do it willy-nilly. You're just doing it on the fly. You got to map it out. You got to sit down and examine, how do I get to the finish line in this thing? What does it all entail to finish the project? We talked about that yesterday. We're going into the sacrifice part of our lesson, right? It's going to be required eventually for all of us to completely separate from the world. That's going to include, you're going to lose relationships that are close with family, maybe your woman, or maybe separated from your children, maybe separated from close friends, maybe separated from particular hobbies that you have in the world. You're gonna seemingly lose opportunities, and people might even look at you crazy for those things, for forsaking those things in the world. But you got to know within yourself that those so seemingly lost opportunities are simply an investment to build your riches in the kingdom of heaven for something much bigger. When you have the mindset, especially being a man in this truth, even a woman, but for the men, that you're auditioning for kingship, that you're auditioning for dominion over the earth, because that's what we're doing. It becomes much easier to make those so-called sacrifices, which are not sacrifices at all, because nothing in this world that you could gain measures up to dominion and rulership over the earth and immortality, manipulation over the elements. being like this with the Creator, receiving that crown during that crowning ceremony that Ezra saw. Nothing measures up to that. There's no higher, position or occupation a man can have than being a man of the Lord, being a part of the elect, being a part of that governing body. Even if you're not a part of 144,000 as a man, even if you're a part of that 1/3 and you were walking uprightly, being a friend of the prophets, a helper of the prophets, doing whatever you could to make the function of the body operate at its highest capacity, that's beautiful too. What's better than that? Because you're going to be a part of that first batch of Israelites, man, that were delivered out of this place. And even if you perish standing stiffly for the things of the Lord, the scriptures say that the dead in Yahweh shall raise up first. This is what we seek after. And when you seek after those heavenly things, you can't be controlled by the opposition. You can't be controlled by our enemy. Because his thing is, if I can control... What's going on with that? His thing is, if I can... control what... They have a saying in the world. I'll just put it like this, and I say this often. If you can give a man what he wants, or you can take it away, you can control him. If you want to manipulate a man, you give him what he wants, or you take it away. Thing is, with the elect, with those that are seeking righteousness, right? The things that we desire are heavenly things. We want the kingdom. We want dominion over the earth. We want the new bodies, okay? We want servants, which includes them. And those are things that, none of those things can they give us. So how can they manipulate us in any way if they can't give us what we want or take it away? We don't desire anything that they can give or that they can take away. You see? Continuing on, I'll wrap this up here. Verse 28. For which of you intending to build a tower sitteth not down first and counteth the cost, whether he have sufficient to finish it? Lest happily, after he have laid the foundation and is not able to finish it, all that behold it begin to mock him. Look at this guy, man. He thought he had it figured out. Now he's back in the world with us. He's back to doing what he was before. And that's a low position to be in, man. That's somebody who you can't trust a person like that can't see anything through. If you have people in your circle that if you think about, who they are as a person, you've known them a while, and they could just never really see anything through, is that really somebody you want in your circle? They say that you're the sum of the 5 people that you're around most. Over here, we seek to see this thing through to the end. And a lot of us, man, there's nothing that we really seen through to the end in the world until we came into this truth. A lot of us had things that we were gung-ho about seeing things through, but we forsook those things to pursue Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai. Same way the disciples followed after Yahweh Shai. They dropped everything and made that sacrifice and reciprocated that love that he was showing. Because he greater love hath no man than this, that a man lay down his life for his friends, like it says in John the 15th chapter. But we're required to reciprocate that love. We're laying down our lives. We're being living sacrifices. All right? Like it says in, I believe, Romans 12:1. Okay? Now, let's finish this out here. Verse 28. Which of you intending to build a tower sitteth not down first and counteth the cost, whether he have sufficient to finish it? Lest happily, after he have laid the foundation and is not able to finish it, all that behold it begin to mock him, saying, this man began to build and was not able to finish. Okay? So we don't want to be in that lot. We want to see it through. This which is going to require sacrifices. It's going to require consistency. It's going to require accepting the adversity that comes with growth, so that we build up that calluses, so that we're able, to navigate more complex situations that we're going to encounter in the days to come. You see, so that's how you should look at it. That's why, success and sacrifice go hand in hand. Affliction, and also that's the way you need to examine yourself so that you can be useful within this thing. So Lord willing, that was edifying. Want to give all praises once more to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem Rakakadash. Want to give double honors to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone. And I want to say shalom to all the brothers and, of course, the few sisters who are pursuing this truth in sincerity. All right? May the blessing of elections be upon your house. Shalom.